Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. So I think I'm still full. All right. My name is CJ. I'm the founder and president of Open Carry Texas. I'm out of Temple is where I'm based out of. And I wanted to talk, you've got action item number 5, which is specifically about open and concealed carry and allowing that in the meetings. And so I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on that. Since I started this organization almost 4 years ago, I've traveled to just about every corner of the state except El Paso. I just can't seem to get myself to want to be in a car for that long, but I'm going to get out there eventually. But I've been all the way down to Brownsville, Amarillo, Texarkana. I've spoken to city councils across the state, and this is something I'm very passionate about. One of the things I've noticed is that the majority of our city councils, believe it or not, never did put up 30-06 signs, and they don't plan on putting up 30-07 signs. And I hope that that's something that you continue here as well, because it's a good policy, it's a safe policy, and the ones that do put up the signs, they always tell me, well, we have police in the back, or we have police in the front, or there's always a police officer here. And so I always bring a couple of examples here of the last few years. On February 17th, 2008, the Kirkwood City Council shooting occurred on February 7th, in Missouri. It's a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri, in St. Louis County. The gunman went on a shooting rampage at a public meeting in the city hall, leaving 6 people dead and 2 others injured. The first people killed were cops. So those were the first targets. June 6, 2011, a man opened fire on police attending a swearing-in ceremony for new officers in New Hope, Minnesota at a city council meeting. 2 officers were shot before police could return fire, killing the man. The officers were expected to survive, but the police were targeted. January 21st, a gunman opens fire inside a suburban Minneapolis city building Monday night, injuring 2 police officers before authorities returned fire and killed him. The county sheriff's department said police officers were the first ones targeted. So it's great. We don't want our police officers are here to protect us, but if there's somebody that comes in here and they've got evil intent, the first person they're going to target is the person they know for a fact has a handgun, and they're going to try and take out that threat. And that and they put their lives on the line understanding that every day. But it's very important that we understand that they cannot protect every single one of us. As you heard in each of these stories, other people were killed or injured as well. We've had open carry now for almost a year. It's been in effect since January 1st, and every single major city has said they haven't had any issues with it. I've talked to, I can't remember who it was I spoke to here in Copperas Cove a couple months ago. We haven't had any issues here. Actually, I just talked to the chief also, and he said we haven't really had any issues here. It's not going to be an issue. You're not going to see it. You're not going to, for the most part, you're not going to see it. But we should really have the opportunity to be able to defend ourselves and, believe it or not, to hopefully defend you if we have to. Because me just sitting in the audience as an armed citizen, I'm probably not going to be the target. The target initially is probably either going to be one of you or one of the police officers in the back or wherever they are. But that gives me an opportunity, if I'm able to, sitting in the stand as a combat veteran, and there's a lot of veterans here in this area, to be able to stop that threat before it gets too far. And so I would hope that as you deliberate this, that you keep it as it is. Please don't prevent law-abiding citizens from being able to defend themselves and to defend each of you. And I bring this little card. Those of us with a license have no felony convictions, no drug-related convictions, no mental defects or disabilities, no Class B misdemeanor convictions or higher in the last 5 years. We've passed the NICS background check as well as fingerprinting. These are the people that you want to be in here, because I guarantee you if they don't have a license, they don't care what sign you put outside that door. Only those of us that care and that will follow the law are going to be the ones that can protect ourselves. So those are my comments. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen. Appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to y'all this evening. My name is Jonathan Garcia. I am in no particular order a board of director member of Open Carry Texas, a father, an Eagle Scout, a handgun license owner, or handgun license holder, and I'd like to speak to y'all this evening about the same thing that Mr. Grisham has just discussed. As CJ has stated, The state legislature, or actually, I'm not sure if you stated it or if it was an earlier conversation, but the state legislature has allowed licensed carry of handguns in their meetings since 1997, which is only 2 years after carry started in Texas with the licensing system. Prior to 95, it was illegal to carry a handgun. But as I stated, they have allowed carry since 97 with no issues. Licensed to carry holders commit a crime at a rate of less than 0.25%. That is a rate even lower than peace officers nationally. You don't need to take my word for that, but you can find those statistics on the Texas Department of Safety's own website. I have on fairly good authority that y'all aren't really planning on posting any signs, and I hope that's going to be the case. But if you do, I'd like you to consider a couple of things. If any signs are posted, licensed individuals, such as myself, who obey the law, will be forced to return to our cars and leave our lawfully carried handguns in our cars where criminals who don't care about the law can break in and steal them. Individuals who may be watching the meetings hoping that they can steal a gun. Individuals who, if they have a gun already or if they steal a gun, can then enter the building, pass the signs, which are not magical barriers, and then carry out their evil plans. The only way to completely stop legal handguns from entering, or excuse me, I shouldn't just say legal. The only way to stop handguns from entering a meeting such as this is to place armed checkpoints at the door with metal detectors, because a handgun can be very easily concealed. An individual not caring about the law could otherwise just walk in with a handgun. Those checkpoints, those metal detectors, would cost the city money, not only in the equipment costs, but also in personnel. They would need to be manned by law enforcement or security personnel, and that cost to the taxpayers could easily be saved by simply allowing those of us who have licenses to carry into these meetings, which provides not only a reduced cost, but it provides that security for free. You don't have to pay me to be here. I'm here, I'm armed, I'm willing to protect and lay down my life for any one of you. And I just leave you that, and I hope that y'all continue to support the Second Amendment, and I thank you very much.
Number 5, discussion and direction on allowing or prohibiting the carrying of open and concealed handguns in city meetings. Eddie Wilson, Interim Police Chief.
Thank you, Lucy, Mayor and Council. Back in October, a workshop item was presented on open and concealed carry for the council. And at the end of that meeting, there was discussion about whether or not to prohibit or allow open and or concealed carry in council meetings. The consensus of the council was that you take some more time to think about it, think about the decision, and you asked it to be brought back to the December 6th meeting, which is today. So I'm before you to bring that item back to see if you're prepared to make a decision at this time on whether or not to allow or prohibit the open and or concealed carry of handguns in council meetings.
Okay. What's the desire of the council? This is only for discussion. Discussion and direction. If we don't want to give direction, then, I would discuss the item.
Council, it would be nice to get some direction on what you would like Eddie to do.
Yeah.
For my part, I could certainly see both sides of the issue. I'm a licensed concealed handgun carrier. I truly believe that, you know, either way is the right way. I don't know how else to put it. I don't think, I like the fact that if we're in a meeting, there is armed police back there protecting us, but there's something to be said for the situations that was brought up earlier in Citizens Forum.
Mr. Mayor, evidently you would like for us to comment.
Yeah,
That's fine. I appreciate that. And I'd just like to say that, just based on the silence of the council, in my own opinion, is that it sends a message to me that we don't want to take action. We already have statutes in the state, and I would not want to give guidance to formulate another ordinance that would be just redundant. So it's, in my opinion, it's leave as is, which we have no restriction. We just follow the law of the state of Texas. And that was my understanding of the silence of the council.
And Mr. Mayor?
yes.
Okay, and as a license to carry holder myself, I agree that if you are a law-abiding citizen in this state and you have that right as a holder of that card, there should be no additional restrictions on where you should be able to take it as long as it applies by what the state law says. So me, myself, I would, if anyone presented a motion to the city council about restrictions, I would vote no to it. So I'd say we leave it as is.
I concur, James.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
and as a license to carry as well, I would hate to. I don't think we'd have enough room on the diocese shelf if you told us to put our weapons up there. This is the state of Texas, and we're not California, we're not Utah, we're Texans, and we got the right to carry weapons, and I would not want to prohibit any Texan from carrying a weapon.
Mayor,
Yes.
we've each councilman, and I just refreshed my vows tonight. We promised to keep up to uphold the Second Amendment, all of the amendments actually. But the Second Amendment is the one in question tonight. I will never ever vote anything that will challenge that Second Amendment. I'm all for the CHL and the open carry.
Roger that.
I can't say it any better than these council members have already said.
Yeah.
Just for those of you that don't know, I was in the Luby's massacre. I was critically wounded October 16th, 1991. Had a .38 caliber, but it was out in the truck because I was obeying the law. I'll never step in another restaurant without my weapon, or anywhere else, actually.
Okay.
Where's the judge? Except in his court.
For a bunch of council people that didn't want to talk, I don't know.
Yeah.
City manager,
That's good. That's good, because if you wait, it's sort of like anything else. If you wait long enough, somebody's going to move.
Yep. Is
Thank you.
that
That's what
enough
I needed.
guidance?
That's what I needed, because if we would have interpreted your silence, then there would have been an argument either way that we misinterpreted.
That's right.
So I appreciate you saying what your direction is.
I understand. I was just being careful because I know the mayor he has the rules, and if he was going to allow us to comment without a motion, and Mr. Mayor, thank you for giving us that option and that opportunity
That's
to
why
voice our
I
opinions.
reiterated it was discussion.
Right. Very, very well done. I appreciate that. And I think our citizens appreciate that too, because we're all here. And I couldn't say it any better than all these council members have already mentioned what their support is for the Second Amendment. And by God, we are Texans.
So I will not be bringing it back before the council unless I'm asked to in the future.
Thank you.
We made Eddie's job a little easier.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
We dispense with that one. The next item, please.